Strugglers, how the heck are ya? Oh, me? I'm doing okay. I just wanted to pop in and say how grateful I am that you guys are so awesome. We have a little community of people here that are so kind and so smart and so open to all kinds of ideas. It really is a great community. I know every YouTuber says that, but it's not always true. And it is true in our case. And that just makes, when there's something outlandish, it makes it stand out just that much more. And yesterday I got a comment on, well, a comment is putting it lightly. I got a novel on my Beast Games video that I made. And I genuinely have never seen anything quite like it. I've been doing this for a very long time. I mean, I've been posting on YouTube since I was a child, but I've been doing it really consistently since like 2017-ish. So we're coming up on 8 years of this now. And this is, without a doubt, the most unhinged thing I've ever received. Okay, so here we go. Let's just... I'm gonna censor the person's name because I don't want it to be a thing, okay? It's just such an interesting read, and I really wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. Wow, what an awful, awful video. I thought it was okay. I don't care if Jimmy is fine with it. Your video is bad. That has the same energy as, I'm gonna say it, I don't care that you broke your elbow. What this person is referring to right off the bat is, so I made this video about Beast Games in case you didn't see it. And I had a lot of criticisms about the show and how they should have done things differently, the way that they marketed it. I had a lot of like, what I think are very valid criticisms. And then Jimmy himself, Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, responded to it and he was like, hey, I actually agree with a lot of the things you said. And then Jimmy reached out to me privately and we've talked a little bit. Anyway, so that's the premise here. That's why he said, I don't care if Jimmy is fine with this video. This video is bad and gosh darn it, I'm going to defend Beast Games honor. Number 1. Bribes. The contestants are not there for fame. They are all there for $5 million. They want money. Money, not fame. Not to be the next American Idol. They want money. Did I ever say they wanted to be the next American Idol? Hold on, let me check on this. Let me go to transcript. Let's control F this thing. Okay, no, it looks like the only thing popping up when I search for the term American Idol is this person's comment. So I don't think I know what they're talking about here. I think maybe it was when I said that if you take a really small bribe early on, maybe it's more worth it to get the experience of trying to be on the show longer than to take a little bribe. I don't think they all want to be the American Idol, but I think all the trouble they went through to get there, to be on the show, all the time it took for them to just be a part of it, to just like take a bribe within the first 30 seconds, I'd rather stick around. That's all I was saying. So when Jimmy offers them a bribe to leave the competition, it makes sense for them to take the money and leave. With 1,000 people, the chances of one person winning are, well, 1 in 1,000. Okay, I'm not arguing with you on that. So rather than be eliminated with nothing to show for it, smart people say, F it, and take a bribe. This feels like common sense, Scott. Where are you coming from with all this condescension? What did I do? It's not that I'm necessarily even arguing with what you're saying, other than the tone. The whole point is that I was saying like, I don't know, I feel like you'd rather, after all you went through to get here, wouldn't you rather be here for a little bit longer? That's all I was saying. Relax, dude. Number 2, the next challenge being self-elimination. So in Beast Games, right after they bribed people to leave, the next challenge was a self-elimination challenge. And I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. Like they should have, if they were going to self-eliminate, they should have at least taken the money. Well, this person had something to say about that. Yeah. And people will inevitably lose. There is one winner of BG. Beast Games. Hundreds of people will end up with nothing, and each person who is in the competition at that point is one step closer to the end. They don't know if they'll make it to the top 10 or not, so of course they're screaming at each other to try and annoy them to quit. Thin the numbers so each person has a better shot. I would think someone who, quote, watches so many game shows would at least know this. If I'm remembering correctly, I didn't even say anything about this. I think I showed a bunch of clips of like contestants screaming at each other to leave. And I was like, that's funny. Look at them all fighting each other. There's like such vitriol in this person's comment. What did I say? What did I do to you specifically? I would think someone who watches so many game shows would at least know this. You think I don't know that only one person can win the show? I think I said that I feel like I said that a bunch in that video. There is one winner of BG. They couldn't be to write it out. That's funny to me. I don't know why. Number 3, they look for someone else to save them so they can stay in the game. Yeah, that would be them yelling at other people to leave so that they can be in it, which I talked about as well. No shit, Sherlock. I don't think I've heard somebody say no shit, Sherlock. I mean, I want to say like maybe I was a 8th grader. Why would each contestant want to leave? Statistically, they know they could lose, but the further they go, the better chance of them winning. These individuals get nothing if they play the martyr. They want other people to so they can win $5 million. Man, this video is bad. Wait, what are you saying here? I was saying that it would have been good for the show to cover more of this aspect of it. In my video, I said, I wish the show would have spent more time talking about how these people are fighting with each other about someone else sacrificing so they don't have to. I wish that they had covered that a little bit more. And what you're saying is that it's a good thing that they fought each other because only one person can win. I feel like this point kind of contradicts what you said earlier about, of course they leave and take the bribe and go home. Why would they want to stay here and play for this game when only one person can win? But then in this point you're saying, well, of course they don't want to leave and go home. They want to win the game. So which one is it? My brain is in a freaking spin cycle right now. I'm like genuinely lost. I feel like there's things that are already contradicting each other, but we continue, we soldier on because there is a lot more to this. Number 4, quote, I had pretty high hopes for this show that constantly boasts about its ridiculous scale at every chance they get. Yes, that is a quote that I said, I think, or close to it. You're on episode 1. Calm your ass down. There's more stuff on the way. No show ever hit the peak on episode 1. That makes no sense. You don't seem good at your job here, Scott. This fucking guy. What's your problem? What did I do to you other than have a different opinion? It's also funny because, no, the reason that I said this specifically, I'm actually glad they brought this up. The reason that I even said this specifically was I had pretty high hopes for this show because they constantly talk about how much money they spent, how big the thing was going to be. And specifically, Jimmy said every episode of this show is bigger than the biggest YouTube video I've ever made. Jimmy said that.
Every single episode of that show is bigger than the biggest YouTube video I have ever done.
So that's why I said, well, this episode, I really had higher hopes for it. I wish that it would have been a bigger deal than it was because I was expecting bigger than the biggest video they've ever made. But then Sherlock over here says, calm your ass down. You're on episode 1. I was already ready. I was expecting the best because I was told I was going to get the best. Also, what do you mean I don't seem good at my job here? What do you mean? You don't think the video looks good? You didn't like the suit that I wore? My job is, there's a lot of aspects to my job. Excuse you. Quote, so far there has been zero spectacle whatsoever. It's episode 1. Lest we forget, episode 1 was also supposed to be bigger than the biggest video that they've ever made on Mr. Beast. So that's just, I was just expecting what I was told. That's all I'm saying. Blasphemy. Do you expect all the high stakes action like he does for his 30-minute one-off videos in episode 1? Yes. I can answer this definitively. Yes, I did expect that because that's what they said they were going to do. So yes, thank you. I'll answer with my chest out. Yes, I did expect that. My question is, why didn't you expect that? Why didn't you expect that? Did you think he was lying to you when he said they were all going to be the best episode ever? This person is like ride or die for this show. I can't tell. Like, are they a super fan of Jimmy? Because like, whatever, you can be a super fan of Jimmy, whatever. But they also said they don't care that Jimmy is actually okay with the video that I made. So like, they're trying to defend Jimmy's honor, but Jimmy agrees with me. Okay, there's a timestamp here. 11:19. Let it be known, someone cannot be happy about seeing an absurd amount of money without Scott mocking them. Good content creator. They really don't, they think I'm a bad YouTuber? Let's see what this timestamp is, okay.
Amount of money given away in the first episode of a show.
I'm sorry, he took issue with me putting question marks when she was flopping like a fish on that pile of money? Okay, I mean, objectively, that was a strange. Come on now. Look at this. Watch this clip again.
$2 million, the most amount of money given away in the first episode of...
I mean, come on, what are we talking about? We're really gonna pretend like that wasn't weird? Come on, man. I get what you're trying to do. You want to defend Mr. Beast. You know, he needs your help. But that was weird. That floppy fish on the money, come on. Let's look frame by frame. Look at this floppy fish, and then here it comes, boom. I was like, what is this all about? This is a weird thing to be doing. You know what? When I get excited for something, I also flop like a fish on top of it. When I won the Danimals sweepstakes, flopping like a fish all over a pile of Danimals yogurt. I just can feel the anger building in this poor person. What caused you to be so angry about this? Because like that is something that's not worth adding to your manifesto. Number 5, I know you're unhappy about another self-elimination challenge. That's Jimmy. And then I said, then stop doing them. Valid criticism, decent suggestions. I'll give you 1 good point for that versus the -6 you have earlier. Hey-o! Okay, look at us go. We got a point. Now this is good. We're building back our reputation. They gave me 1 point. That's good. I do have -6 from before, so we're still sitting at -5. At least we're working in the right direction. Next point. Yes, the trivia at that time was boring. 1 more point for you. Come on, baby. Okay, we are at -4. Are you keeping score at home? We're at currently -4. Let's see if we can at least break even with this fella. Quote, I missed the bribes. You should really bring it back. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, that was a little joke that I made. You are not funny. Oh, well, that's just like your opinion, man. It's so weird because like I said, I'm so used to everybody being so kind and normal. And this is not kind, and it's certainly not normal. And then I said, I've never seen something so foolish in all my days. He actually wrote the quote wrong. So you don't watch your own content? Noted. That's going to be a full career evaluation on my part. He got me good there. Absolutely lampooned me with that one. Dang. That was like a, I know you are, but what am I? Man, you almost can't even say anything when someone says something that goofy. What do I even say in response to that? Would I have to say then, well, then you must not, you don't know silly, you don't know, you don't watch. Okay, another quote. Wah, other shows don't have $1 million to give out. Different, bad. Well, I never said that. So this quote, this is slanderous, and you will be hearing from my lawyer. Grow the fuck up, Scott. This, who is this? Do I know you personally? Did I cut you off in traffic? Who are you? That's like a weird thing that some people do where they're like, it's condescension, right? Where they're like, okay, Scott. Oh, sure. Why don't you grow up, Scott? Maybe when you say someone else's name to them, you feel a little bit of power. You get a little bit of the squirts. And this guy is squirting all over his keyboard right now. I can promise you that. Let me actually talk about this point. I never said, wah, other shows don't have $1 million to give out, different, bad. What they're referencing is when I said that the grand prize on most other massive shows is $1 million. And already in the first or second episode, this show had given away $1 million. So I was saying they should really take that money. If you're being offered $1 million, you should take that because that's the grand prize on other shows. You're crazy for not taking that. So this is a weird thing for him to have a gripe with as well. What made you upset about what I said there? This poor fella is spiraling. Wow, other shows don't have $1 million to give out. Different, bad. Grow the fuck up, Scott. What is he talking about? These 4 people can push their button at any time and immediately be gifted $1 million. The grand prize for any other massive show on TV. None of them take that offer? Because what? It's more noble to save your... Yeah, when did I say that different is bad? That's not the point at all. You completely you're making things up. Wow, other shows don't have $1 million to give out. Different, bad. No, this part doesn't even have anything to do with the show itself. I'm talking about why didn't the contestants take that money? Grow the fuck up, Scott. Well, no, why don't you grow up? This next one, I'm actually really glad that he brought this up because I was proud of this moment and I never saw anybody notice it. So here we go. It's a timestamp again at 13:30. He says, why the flip are you outside? Let's watch the part that he's talking about and then I'll come back to it. Okay, here's what happens. This is just more corny than anything.
You just turned down $1 million.
My integrity is not for sale to you.
Okay, cowboy, tone it down a little bit. Okay, that's the part. Okay, cowboy, tone it down a little bit. This part where I'm standing outside. That's what this pissed this guy off, dude. He's like, this pisses me off, man. But the truth behind this, let's read what he said. Why the flip are you outside? Did you forget to film that part? So you went back inside your house, got your camera equipment and a microphone, told someone else to film you saying, okay, cowboy, tone it down a little bit. That's so unnecessary. Just sit back in your chair and record that small clip. No, that's not what happened. That clip, the okay, tone it down, cowboy, was from a different video that I made. And I'm gonna pull this up because I'm proud of this. This is called being a genius editor, okay? So in the video that I made called Every Streaming Service's Best Competition Show, there was a part where I was talking about these Netflix shows, and there was a guy on one of those shows that said this.
The temptation's pretty hard, but my integrity is not for sale.
Okay, cowboy, tone it down a little bit. Whoa! Okay, so then we go back to the Beast Games clip. And what did he say? What did that guy say?
Just turned down $1 million.
My integrity is not for sale to you.
Okay, cowboy, tone it down a little bit. Now come on now. That's a good moment. Look at that edit that I did there. That's a callback. You don't think I'm a good content creator, bro. Come on, man. That was a great little bit. So anyway, that pissed him off. In his brain, what happened was I finished the video, and then while I was editing, I was like, oh, I forgot to say, tone it down, cowboy. So then what I did was get a haircut, grab my camera, my microphone, and bring my wife out to stand as still as a tripod so I could say, tone it down, cowboy, while looking off to the side. That was what he thought I did. No, the truth was that I'm just a freaking incredible content creator, actually. I wonder if he gave me a -1 for this. So like, am I at -5 now? That's too bad, because that was so unnecessary, he thought, but I actually thought it was necessary. I thought it was a great bit. Number 6, quote, nobody would have held that against you. Now he's talking about when I said, if you just took the $1 million bribe, I don't think anybody there would have blamed you for it. Because of course not, right? Anybody up there would be like, oh yeah, he took the $1 million. Of course he took the $1 million. Yeah, maybe it'll send me home, but of course he did that. Duh, who wouldn't do that? But this guy's opinion is actually, yes, I'm sure nearly 100 people would be fine with losing out on $5 million. Yeah, sure. I didn't say they'd be fine with losing out on $5 million. I said they wouldn't hold it against you. Those are different things, buddy. So anyway, another point, absolutely. Boosh! Destroyed. Oh, and I don't care for your lack of jokes. A bad criticism is just as bad as a failed joke. What are you talking about now? He said my jokes weren't funny, but now he's like, I wish you actually told more jokes. I think this guy's a fan. I really do. I think he does. I think he fucks with me a little bit. Dude, reach out. I'll send you a free t-shirt. I'll send you the merch that isn't for sale anymore. There you go. Limited edition. I'll sign it for you. Quote, you goofballs. I did say that. I called them goofballs. So you're admitting that you would screw over 100 people's lives, screw over potential families getting better because you're selfish for $1 million? What a great content creator. What does that have to do with me being a content creator? You would have taken $1 million. You're a bad content creator, bro. Hey, you came onto a show where the grand prize is $5 million. There's still like 500 people left. You want $1 million to go home? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll take that. Thanks. And if that makes me a bad content creator, then I don't want to be a good content creator. Number 6. Hold on now. This was number 6. Quote, this is the only thing you can do with an unlimited budget, and me laughing about, yeah, what they spent most of the money on was just bribing people to leave. I mean, that's kind of objective truth, right? Sure. Yeah. These are not, you don't need to have that in there. Just say your point. It's not like he built an entire city, is in charge of making sure everything goes well, or has to produce props for fit. Is this Jimmy's burner? No, I know that. Jimmy was actually very cool when I talked to him. And Jimmy was so open to like other people's ideas and changing stuff. Like he was down for it. This is so strange, like on behalf of somebody who doesn't agree with you, man. But let's make fun of this challenge. You're so funny. Which challenge are you making fun of? Oh, I think they're talking about the one where they're counting in their head and then dropping the ball. This is such a weak challenge for a show that has like $1 billion budget. Everybody is blindfolded and they have to try to drop a ball when they think 10 minutes have passed. They're just kind of counting in their head. Now I see how this show has the biggest budget in game show history. It all makes sense. It's so clear. There we go. That's what I'm saying. Like we could have done this at the Kramer games. You didn't need to build the city. Would you spend 15 million building a city and then so they could drop a ball on the floor? That's what I was saying. I was like, why'd they do all this? It's kind of a waste of money. So wait a second. This person's admitting that they blew all of their budget on unnecessary stuff. They blew the budget on the city, the props, all of the jerseys, I guess, that they wore. So yeah, but let's make fun of this challenge. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Yes, this guy's getting it. The point of the show is that there's spectacle. The games, it's a game show. The games are supposed to be cool, right? That's what my opinion is. My opinion is like, stop wasting money on other silly things and like make the games awesome. Make it a great game show. But I guess this person just wants there to be like, they want to spend a lot of money on building a building. That's fine. I guess different opinions, whatever. Sure, things should be grand and epic. Wait, do we agree? But sometimes a simple challenge can be just as effective as a $1,000 set. Holy cow, Scott. They're baffled by the fact that I just am not on the same page as them. Things should be grand and epic. We do agree, but then apparently we don't, I guess. I don't know. Backtrack immediately. Sometimes a simple challenge can be just as effective as a $1,000 set. Yeah, I also agree with that, bro. We are on the same page. Shake my hand. We are friends. But what I'm saying is the whole point is that they're bragging about how big everything is all the time. Point number 7. Yes, I'll agree with you. Give me another one there. The whole plane thing and private island was dumb. Even the contestants knew it was a waste when most of them just said no. Look at us. We're getting closer and closer as this goes on. Number 8, this is not a show. Yeah, that was when I was saying all they're doing is asking people to leave on their own. What kind of show is this? This is not a show. They should have done so much better. That was what I was saying. And then this person says, you cannot do better. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I don't know. I hold the opinion that I could do better. That's why I had all of these criticisms. I think they could have done better. You cannot do better. So definitive. Brother, you don't know anything about me. Have you seen the Kramer Games? Everything I do is just an advertisement for the Kramer Games. I'm sorry, guys. Quote, I'm not being dramatic with how much this bothers me. I can't even... This is actually insane, right? It's insane how much of this show is just people leaving on their own. I'm not being dramatic with how much this bothers me, right? You guys, I was so... Yeah, so that was actually a rhetorical question. I didn't want you to answer that. If you think I'm being dramatic with how pretty much every single instance of the show is just saying, hey, you want to go home now? Please go. You want to go home? Get out of here. Do you want to leave? Okay, go. If you think that I should love that, then that's your opinion, man. Would you believe me if I said there's still quite a bit left in this comment? Pirate ship was a disappointment. You have a good point. I knew I liked this guy. Buddy, we gotta go get a drink sometime. You and I, we're on the same page. That pirate ship thing, that was crazy. Quote, this show is one of the worst things I've ever watched. I did say that. Yeah, maybe I was being a little hyperbolic because I was playing a character. I was getting all amped up. I was crazy. I was like, oh man, it's the worst thing I've ever watched. Because I'm a content creator. That's what we do. But then this fella said, Scott, good news. I half agree with you because this video that you made is one of the worst videos I've ever watched. That's a high honor, actually. Imagine being on anybody's top list of anything. Pretty sick. I don't know, guys. You think my Beast Games video is one of the worst videos you've ever watched? Have them compete in something. Yeah, that's when they were just like bribing people to leave. And I said, please have them just do a game. Half valid point. So I'll give you that as well. Well, why? Well, come on now. No, hold on. Half valid? Why not fully valid? What about that statement bothers you? What about that statement doesn't get me a full point? I feel I'm deserving of a full point. Come on, man. And I'm gonna go ahead, or you, I'll give myself a full point. Quote, they should be ashamed that they made this. Yeah, once again, me being kind of I'm exaggerating a little bit. But what he thinks is, salty little man who didn't get cast. Salty little man who didn't get cast? I'll have you know, I didn't even know that this show was happening. I'll go on the record, I never applied to be on Beast Games. I never knew they were making Beast Games. If I knew they were making it, would I have applied? Probably not. The only show I've ever applied for that wasn't a goof for a video is Survivor, because that's really the only one I give a care about. So no, I'm not a salty little man who didn't get cast. That's crazy too, because like, if you look through my whole video catalog, my whole thing is like, I try so hard to be so like overwhelmingly positive about everything. And this was kind of the one time that I was like, I have criticisms on this thing. I'm going to criticize something. And I did it in a way that I thought was very fair. And even when you do that, you still are seen as just a salty little man who didn't get cast by some stranger on your YouTube comment section. Oh, hey, look, he's getting to the best parts of and then me, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, of course you don't, because you don't have something to whine about this time, Actually, let's be fair here. There is an entire, let's see, from 20 minutes all the way to 27 minutes. There's a full 7 minutes of this 31-minute video where all I do is talk about the good parts of the show. A quarter of the video is me kind of praising the things that they did. A quarter of the video is me saying this was great. So honestly, fuck you, dude. You gonna misrepresent me like this? On my own channel? No, I didn't want to talk about the thing because I did have a lot of bad things to say about it. And I thought, oh man, this whole video has been really negative. So let me skip over the negative part. And then I talked about things that I really liked for 7 minutes. They must have blacked out at that part. They were just so angry. The blood all rushed to their head. They passed out for 7 minutes and then regained consciousness. And they were like, you're a bad content creator. All right, let's see how they wrap this up. After 30 minutes, you strike me as a man who's salty that he couldn't get an invite. You had valid criticisms. Thank you. Like how much he frequently relied on self-elimination. I'm sorry, what the hell, bro? Did we not just spend paragraphs of you arguing about why self-elimination was actually a good thing? And now you're backtracking? In the fourth quarter? In the final hour? You don't get to walk away from this and think that we agree when you spent this whole time disagreeing with me? What the heck is wrong with you? I agree there should have been more challenges and games. Where was this energy? At the beginning of this novel, where was this energy? But so many of your jokes/criticisms, well, I didn't have any jokes apparently, either make no sense or are just bad in general. No, come on now. I think every single joke and criticism I made perfect sense. Every single time I made a joke or a criticism, I contextualized it in the video. I've been doing this for a very long time, as we talked about before, very consistently for around 8 years now. I have an idea of how this goes. As I'm writing, as I'm planning, I'm already like hearing the opposition. So then while I'm thinking, oh, what's somebody gonna think about what I have to say here? How can I, clarify so they don't have this weird response? So then I clarify in the video itself, and it makes the videos a little bit longer. It makes the writing process a little bit longer, but I always contextualize when I'm talking about stuff. If I have a criticism, I tell you why that is. And I think this fella just either didn't comprehend that or they're ignoring that. They're just like purposely being incorrect about that. So many of your criticisms make no sense or are just bad in general. Now that's just an opinion. This is just an opinion, just bad in general. But to say that they make no sense is disingenuous. And I resent that. And you will be hearing from my lawyer. You gave genuine advice on how to improve his show, and clearly Jimmy took that and wants you as a consultant on season 2. Yeah. I'm sorry, what the fuck is happening right now? Did my criticisms make no sense, or did I give genuine advice on how to improve the show? Dude, I feel like I got put in a blender. But if you're gonna be a consultant, try not to be as whiny as you were here. Man, once again, I think that whiny is just like not an appropriate term for what this video was. I don't think it was whiny at all. It was like purposely written in a way that was like a buildup, you know? Like I started kind of being like poking, and then by the end, when the pirate ship thing happened, it was like, all right, now let's write in the blow up here. This is when I go nuts. And then it calms down and that was the kind of the crescendo. And then I come down and I talk about the good things about the show. And then it finishes off with like a perfect little wrap up, in my opinion. Let's just really quickly read Jimmy's comment. What Jimmy had said was, hey, I definitely learned a ton making season 1 of Beast Games. I agree in hindsight, way too many self-elimination games and not enough games of skill. So Jimmy agrees with me, man. I appreciate you including the segment of the parts you liked. And it's obvious why all your favorite parts are once the contestants are dwindled down. Easier to get to know them. I DM you on Twitter if you want to help season 2. There you go. So yeah, man, this was a wild ride. The only reason I even saw this comment, when you check your YouTube studio, the most recent comment on any of your videos is like visible right there. And this happened to be that. So I was like going in to check some analytics thing or whatever, and like this just popped up in my face and they were like, wow, what an awful, awful video. And I was like, okay, you have my attention. What is this? So yeah, I don't know. I thought this would be kind of a fun little thing to do on the second channel. I had that other video a while ago where I was like talking about the comments on some of my older videos that were like driving me crazy for a while. And this is a cathartic way to just like offload that onto you guys instead. So you can carry the burden for me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for checking out the second channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys again. Pretty soon, actually. I got a few videos that are going to be going up on here in the next month or so. So, I love you. Why did I say that? You guys are fine. I like you. All right, have a great day. Goodbye.